But yeah, let me go ahead, finish it. Go ahead.
All right. It says, revenge me of my persecutors. Take me not away in thy long suffering, man. Know that for thy sake I have suffered rebuke. Right. Rebuke of what such? Ways of living in this system. When you against the ways of this system and you speak against it, you get rebuked. They try to rebuttal you. They contend with you, right? Such as contend with that, what is that? Proverbs 28:4. They that kept the law contended with those that didn't keep the law, man. Day in and day out. Those that forsake the law contended with those that kept the law, right? Day in and day out. The ordinances, the things that are not contrary to the doctrine, sound doctrine they kept, and they sit there and came against us.
It's the book of Job, chapter 4, verse 17. Shall mortal man be more just than Yahweh? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? Verse 18. Behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. Verse 19. How much less in them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. Verse 20. They are destroyed from morning to evening. They perish forever without regarding it. Verse 21.
Without regarding it.
Doeth not their excellency, which is in them, go away. They die, even without wisdom.
Even without wisdom, they die.
That's exactly what I was talking about. It's exactly the two things we just discussed. That scripture hits them both. From they die without wisdom, they perish. So they don't know what's going on. They don't seek the knowledge to know what's going on. To know they're supposed to reflect on the new moon. To know that they're supposed to hold the Day of Atonement. To know that they're supposed to keep the Passover. To know they're supposed to keep the first fruits. All these things, they don't know it, and they perish without wisdom. But back at the top of the scripture where it says, shall mortal man be more just than Yahweh? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? Because that's the way that Jake lives his life. You give him the scriptures, but the ways of the world sound more just to Jake, sound more correct to Jake. That's Israel only being savior. That ain't right. That ain't right there. Whatever it is, the ways of the world are the ways that are just to Jake. Yahweh's ways are unjust when you bring out the scriptures to him, right? And that's why that scripture's in there. How could that be possible? How could you be more righteous than the person that made you? And it goes as far to tell you, like, if the angels are nothing to him, if they're folly to him, foolishness to him, and you're less than the angel, you come from the dust. How your moth food is what it's telling you. What can I? How can you feel like with your ways or the ways of a person like yourself, a simple man, be more just in the ways of Yahweh? It's folly.
That's right, no doubt. So we're supposed to be seeking out here riches that don't corrupt the way, man. So we say, for ourselves to suffer rebuke, thy words were found. You see that? Let's see what the word says. It says, thy words were found, and I did eat them. See there? You got to eat the words of the Lord, man. But we want to eat of the things of our enemy. Okay? Wickedness, folly, We want to eat up those things that talk about oppressing your own brother, stealing from your own brother, right? It says, and the word was unto me, and thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of my heart. So what that mean? When you go out here and you see your oppressor ruling over you, when you see all these curses that's in Deuteronomy 28, right? And throughout this book, you see the curses that's on you, and you understand the people that are without and the way that they think about you, okay? The suffering that you go through day in and day out from your own people, what? It gives you joy because of those wide things that you're going to receive, man. The Lord talks about justice, the one who created the heaven and the earth, right? And y'all who are convinced in your heart that the Lord has dealt with you. You know what I mean? You convinced in your heart that the Lord is dealing with you, then that means what? You know that the Lord is going to come and redeem his people, man. And you just got to hold fast, right? Remember all those things. Don't let your eyes forget You know? Don't let your eyes forget. Those people, what's going to happen? You're going to have joy, man, when you seek the understanding of the Lord. It says, was unto me the joy and rejoicing of mine heart. For I am called by thy name. I am called by thy name, O Lord, Yahweh of hosts. That's right. You know?
Come.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine vain things?
People, yeah.
Separating the two, separating the heathen and the people. Who are the people he's talking about? He's talking about the Israelites. The heathens rage and the Israelites imagine vain things, right? What comes to their mind are things of emptiness, thoughts of emptiness, right? How can I get quick buck? How can I live rich in this kingdom? How can I sleep with the most women? How can I have rims?
Folly,
How can
man.
I look this? Nothing but vain things. They imagine vain things, right? So I'm going to jump down. Verse 4. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Verse 5. They shall speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. So I'm down to 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee thy heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. So you gotta have that understanding that you're in oppression right now. You gotta have the understanding that we're not supposed to be storing up riches here. We're supposed to be storing up riches in heaven. So we're supposed to be building and working towards getting the heathen for an inheritance. So we're trying to follow their ways when we're supposed to inherit them. We have to be pure and holy so we can inherit them and not adopt their ways. We don't need their filthy ways. The Lord gave us clean garments. Once again, we don't need to dirty up our garments or become naked, because that's what happened, right? Adam and Eve were naked in the garden. What do they mean by naked? Not naked like they didn't have clothes on. Naked that they were stripped. They were in sin. They were stripped of their purity, right? Go ahead.
All right, so that's right, no doubt. And let me get this real quick first. All right, so this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, and verse. So we'll start with verse 2. Verse 2. It says, they went through the wilderness. Let me start at verse 1. It says in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11 verse 1, she prospered their works in the hands of the holy prophets. They went through the wilderness that was not inhabited and pitched tents in the places where there lay no way. Okay? Verse 3 it says, they stood against their enemies and were avenged of their adversaries. When they were thirsty, they called upon thee, and the water was given them out of the flinty rock, and their thirst was quenched out of the hard stone. That's right. And in this system of oppression, it's cruel habitation, like it says in Psalms 74 and 20. All right? This is a cruel habitation. Okay? All the tables are full of vomit, right? Daughter of Zion out here struggling day in and day out. So what am I saying? You know, what am I saying? What I'm saying that the Lord is going to deal righteously, okay, when we turn to him. When we turn to him, he's going to deal with us in the only way that he know how. Judgment. The only way that he works, which is in judgment, right? He's going to deal with us. So he's going to deal with us with our faith and our understanding. Out of a flinty rock. This is oppression that we experience. So And what's happening? Waters is coming out in these last days. The word, okay? The word is the waters, right? In these last days. And we're receiving it out of flinty rock, right? It says in verse 4, when they were thirsty, they called upon thee, and waters was given them up out of the flinty rock, and their thirst was quenched out of the hard stone. So the Lord gonna quench our thirst, all right? Out of the hard stone. Because we don't see no way. Only way we see, like the brother was saying, is to live like the heathen, live like the wicked, right? And just die. This foot says, for by what things their enemies were punished, by the same they in their need were benefited, right? Lord gonna punish our enemies, and we're gonna be benefited in these last days, right? Just like it happened before. If we do what? Turn to the law, statutes, commandments, faith unto good works. Let's say that. Where we take upon us faith unto good works, faith in Yahushua, faith in who the world calls Jesus, unto good works, what's gonna happen? We're gonna receive those wide things. We're gonna receive that. Our thirst is gonna be quenched. Our enemies are gonna be destroyed. Right? Let me read that again. For by what things their enemies were punished, by the same they in their need were benefited. And we had to be benefited. Scripture says, they're laid no way. We went to the wilderness where they're laid no way. Understanding where they're laid no way. We got to turn it and open our minds up and receive righteousness, man. Not sit up here thinking we know, right? Not thinking we know the way, and yet we steady getting out here, getting slaughtered. Steady having a mindset to hate your own brother. We want to say, well, how we going to do better? How we going to do better? Well, first and foremost, stop hating your brother, okay? Stop trying to steal from him. Stop trying to take his woman. We think it's a great thing when we say, man, yeah, he got a girl, man. I'm out here, I got his girl, da-da-da-da-da. Man, listen, that's why we continue to think this way. So-called white man run around here with houses, cars, everything else. Black man have a little piece of dust. Man, what are you doing with that? I'm finna take that from him. Your own people. How we gonna get better unless we turn back to the law, statutes, commandments? That's right. The thou shalt not steal, the thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, all those. But we put those things off. And we do whatever we gotta do based off the condition, man. We gotta wake up. We don't know. And we understand that. We understand that our people don't know. But we gotta turn it and hear those things. So for by what things their enemies, who is our enemy? The so-called white man and all the men in his confederacy, right? By their enemies were they punished. By the same, they in their need were benefited. For instead of a fountain of perpetual running river troubled with foul blood, what happened with our enemies? What happened with the Canaanite? Well, the Lord smite the waters. And what happened? Blood came out. So it said, instead of a fountain of perpetual running river troubled with foul blood, for a manifest reproof of that commandment whereby the infants were slain, thou hast given unto them abundance of water by means which they hope not for, declaring by that thirst, then thou hadst punished their adversaries. Come on, man. By that thirst. So what is our thirst? That we out here dealing with oppression. Lord gonna quench that thing for us by destroying our enemies and giving us the kingdom. Right? Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. Verse 25. Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. Verse 26.
Good word.
The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them.
You gotta give them connection with it. Give them connection. Make it connection. It just sounds like words to you.
That's just basically telling you, it's clear, like the wicked ways seem enticing. They seem like the correct way, but they're not the correct way. They're a wicked way. They're the way of our neighbor. Our neighbor is Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white man, right? So they put all these wicked things in front of our face and make it seem like it's the right way and it's the cool way because it gives us gain in his wicked kingdom, right? But that's not the right way. It's the wrong way. The word is our gladness.
That's right.
The word is the truth, right? He's not showing you the word. He's showing you his wickedness.
That's right. So, what are we saying? In these last days, we gotta turn from our enemies. Lord gonna quench our thirst that the enemy has put upon us, right? That the Lord has put upon us with his sword, basically, right? Because he wants us to hunger and thirst for righteousness, that we don't turn back to these wicked ways again, man. You know? So let's see what the Bible says. Joshua chapter 23. First, let's do verse 10. One man of you shall chase 1,000. For the Lord your God, he is. Let's read that again. Salaki. This is the book of Joshua chapter 23, verse 10. One man of you shall chase 1,000, for the Lord your God, he it is that fighteth for you, as he hath promised you. That's right. And to whom was all these promises given? To the Israelites, right? That's who the promises was given, unto the Israelites, to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the people who are suffering in these last days, right? He gonna fight for us. Just like he provided that flinty rock, right? Just like he's setting up the men in these last days. That's why they ain't gonna be without an excuse. They got men in these last days teaching them the right way. You know? So it says what? Take good heed. Yeah. Sleeping on the floor, on the ground.
Using the damn curb as a pillow.
Come on, man, that's Jake. And Jake rather hear from Esau than to hear from their own people, man. Look at this, bro. Our own people sleeping on the ground, man. That's messed up, man. Look at that. For God. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans gotta wake up, man. Straight up, man. We gotta wake up in these last days. Stop fighting against that. That's the people that's speaking for your defense. This whole world nobody in this world speak for your defense. Black man gets shot by the cops, then what happened? Nobody got nothing to say to speak up for your people, man. You know? Well, we want to sit up here and speak against righteous words, man. Spiritual words.
Jake